Hello and welcome to another City Council update. I'm Dorothy White. Today we're in District 5 with Councilmember Rich Aubin, and there's so much going on in so many places. Let's just hit it.
That sounds great, Dorothy. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Rich Aubin. This is my sixth and last one of these. I'll be terming it on council in May, but I'm real excited. We've got a packed update for you. Let's start on the very broad, citywide. You know, there's so many groundbreakings we've done in the last year, so many good things going on in this year. From the 2019 bond program, we're going to start to see things come to the finish, like the animal shelter. We have things that are starting, like the downtown redo, the library renovations, and more. But what I really want to focus on today is District 5.
So, yeah, and you're going to start with the fun stuff. Let's talk about parks.
Oh, my God. There's so much to talk about. I'm probably going to miss a few things. But, you know, when we were talking to folks about the 2019 bond program, they told us they wanted amenities. They wanted parks. They wanted recreation. And the council and the city staff is delivering. You know, just this year, we have a new development going in south of Miller, and we convinced the developer to give us about 3 acres of that to turn into a park. And then we went and found some really good neighbors who said that, you know, they're willing to sell their property to the city to become this park. It's going to take a few years to put it together, but it's down by Ridgecrest and Lakemere. It's going to be about 6 acres. It's going to connect a lot of disconnected neighborhoods, and it's in a part of the city where we don't really have any parks. So super exciting stuff there. And then you just travel a little bit east on Miller and you come to Rick Oden Park, which is in the middle of a $20+ million redo. We're going to have the second largest skate park in Texas at 46,000 square feet. It's almost finished, but we are waiting. We're a little bit further behind on the parking and the restrooms and stuff. So that's going to open probably middle of the year, second quarter, and then the phasing is going to continue. And so by the end of the next year, we should have the new ballpark, the walking trails, the big playground, and we were able to get funded just a few months ago through ARPA. The council agreed to fund the almost $3 million regional splash pad. So super exciting stuff at Rick Oden.
And that's not the only sport involved down in District 5. There's tennis, right?
Well, tennis is, so here's what's going to happen. I know a lot of people have been worried about the tennis center. The tennis center is moving, which is great. If you love tennis, we're building a brand new tennis center out on 66 at Tuckerville Park. It's going to be the Mayor Bob Day Tennis Center, which is great news. Mayor Day was Council 5 representative, lives in District 5, and I'm so happy for him. It's going to be a great facility, and it's a perfect facility to name after him. It's going to have a championship court. It's going to have a locker room. It's going to have a bigger pro shop. We're going to be able to use it for economic development by bringing in some really great USTA tournaments. So that's a great opportunity. And then you go from there back into District 5 and, you know, Lawnwind Park, you know, and everybody, you know, so many people have great memories of the pool there, but the pool's about 60 years old. And so it's time for the pool to go. So it is getting a neighborhood size splash pad. It's getting a new playground, and the return of library services to District 5 is going to happen right there. We're going to have a library kiosk, which is like a red box for libraries. Super exciting.
And that has part of what came out of the library master plan, correct?
Yes. That was a library master plan in the 2019 bond program. Now, the other piece of the library master plan is they said, well, you know, you really need a library down in that part of town, which is true. We used to have a library right there at Ridgewood Park. In 2009, it was closed. It was in pretty bad shape. But that's generally the area where they think we should get a new library. So that won't be till a future bond program, probably like a 2025 bond program. But we're starting to work on that now in terms of getting a design study together to look at that whole area, the Ridgewood area, and see what opportunities there are there for development for a library and any kind of other great things that we could put there. Super exciting. And then we go back down, and that's right at Kingsley and First, and then you go west on Kingsley. So we're going all over the district. You go to west down Kingsley to Kingsley Park, which has been one of our NADA parks for many years, more like an empty field. But it is getting a futsal court, and which is like ice rink size soccer. It looks a lot of fun. People really seem to love it. It's a big thing. There's another one going up in Watson Park, but this one we just got the funding all approved as part of ARPA. So that funding is together along with some other amenities in that park. So it's going to be some great things there. It's getting a playground, and playgrounds are coming up out of the ground all over the city and all over the district. We have I think 3 playgrounds at Grissom, White, and Dorfman Park that are just about complete. We have more playgrounds going in this year, and then the year after that, there'll be even more. So I think every playground in District 5 is getting a new one. Every park's getting a new playground, so super exciting. And then, then we go right from there into trails. Trails master plan is great. We're going to see, as part of Rick Oden Park, there's going to be a trail that goes up to Central Park. It's going to go under the bridge at Miller and go up Glenbrook. And then when you get to and then you go south, there's going to be one at 30, and there's another one there's another bridge right at Centerville. So Lawn Wind Park's going to have one under Centerville, and it's going to be great. And ultimately, the Trails Master Plan is going to cover the entire. It's super exciting. So if you're a fan of trails, walking, biking, whatever, we're going to have a lot of trails in Garland coming soon. So super exciting stuff.
Okay, Rich, I've just got to throw in a story here. Please. As a kid growing up in Garland, where some of these bridges are going in, we used to wander down the creek to get to these places. I wouldn't really recommend that, but that's what we did as children.
Well, I guess it's now going to be it's an approved activity.
Now there'll be an approved activity in a place where I'm supposed to walk. I might actually do it again.
Right. You're going to be able to, when all is said and done, and this is a few years out, but you're going to be able to take Duck Creek from Mesquite all the way through Garland up to Richardson without having to cross a street, interact with traffic, do anything. Now, I'm probably not going to walk that kind of distance, but for folks who want to, they can really get around.
I don't know. I think I'm going to get all my old neighborhood kids together, see where we are, see how many of us are on walkers by the time that we're doing that. But we're going to do it. Awesome. We'll celebrate the completion of that trail.
That's awesome. No, it's going to be great. And that's why, parks, that's why I really wanted to start off with parks, because there's so many great things that we're doing. And that's just, and we're just talking about what's going on in District 5. There's the Lazy River coming in at Audubon Park, and new pools and new rec center redos. There's all kinds of stuff going on all around the city. I totally encourage people to jump onto our website and check out all the news of what's going on. There's so many good things, good recreational opportunities here in Garland.
It's wonderful. Now, and all of these things are in service of our neighborhoods and our residents who need these amenities, but they need other resources too.
They absolutely do. And we've been focused on that as well. As part of the 2019 bond program, we passed multiple drainage projects, which are real important. If your neighborhood is flooding, nobody's happy. And so there are a couple of big ones. One of them is down at Montclair Estates, and the other one is the Saturn Springs drainage project, which follows on to Parkmont. And that's a real big one. That's about a $12.5 million project. It is in design. The council put an additional $2.5 million towards that during ARPA to make sure, as we deal with all the inflation that everybody's seeing and other things, that we make sure that we get that project done and done right. So that's still a few years away, probably a year or so away from, at least a year or so from construction, and a couple of years from being complete. But it's going to be a great project, totally exciting. And then we've been doing a lot of other things neighborhood related. Folks we hear all the time about speed humps, and I think that's my dog telling us how she feels about speed humps. people wanting them and people not wanting them. And so we're working on a new speed hump policy. We're testing out some different designs and some different ideas. We're going to pull a bunch of data together because we're going to look at how the speed hump program works and how we can make it work better for people and both be more useful but less intrusive. So we're doing a lot on that, and I expect that to come to folks by the middle of next year. Parking enforcement program has been super popular, so popular that they're writing a lot of tickets, all based on complaints. People parking on their parking over the sidewalk and doing other things like that make it that make it difficult to get around and have mobility. So we're working on we're working on the parking enforcement program. The council is committed to hiring additional marshals so that we can continue to do more to take care of the parking in these neighborhoods.
I know we were talking about drainage earlier, but one of the issues we do have is some properties that are flood prone, and we're working with FEMA for these sorts of things, correct?
Yes, we are. We've been working on a couple of different things. The first thing is that we've been working with FEMA to improve the city's flood protection rating. And what that will do is give people who do have to pay for flood insurance, it'll give them a greater discount on that. So we're working on that. I expect to have some progress on that by May. The other thing that we're doing is in the bond program, we passed $4 million to buy out flood-prone properties. And these are properties that are flooding because of creeks, things like Duck Creek and some of the other creeks. We're working on a policy for that, and we'll be working with FEMA on that as well so that we can kind of leverage that money to take care of some of these properties that flood every few years.
In relation to all of this, I know we're also working on some special programs related to erosion and drainage, correct?
Yes, we are. The Transportation Infrastructure and Mobility Committee has been working on revising our policies there. Our erosion program, we're looking at a couple of options to make it more affordable and reasonable for people to deal with creek erosion. And then on the drainage programs, not everything qualifies for these very large drainage things we do, but we have a lot of other funds available for smaller drainage, neighborhood, local, or one or two house type drainage issues. And we're working on expanding that program so that more people will be able to take advantage of it.
That's excellent. Now, I know one of the most popular and exciting programs going on is the home improvement program.
Yeah, absolutely. The first year we did it, I think the funding ran out in 2 months, and last year ran out in 3 months. But this year we doubled the funding to $500,000, and the city will pay half of a bunch of exterior improvements. So if you go online to the city website and check it out, we've also increased the eligibility. So more homeowners in District 5 will be eligible to get 50% of their improvements paid for. Very exciting. And that dovetails also with our sidewalk program. I don't want people to forget that we changed that last year. So the city will pay up to, instead of the 50-50 split, the city could pay up to 90% of the cost of replacing your sidewalk.
I know one of the most important things on people's plates these days is they're concerned about their streets and their roads. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it really is. And it has been a focus of our council for, pretty much all 6 years that I've been on council. We've been putting a lot of money into streets. We continue to do that every year. We continue to escalate that. For the last few years, we've been doing neighborhood streets, but there's been a lot of focus on arterials. And we've really got one more to do, which is Miller. We're going to continue to do a lot of work on Miller this year. And then we'll start to see a lot more focus on neighborhood streets. In fact, by the time y'all are watching this, Devonwood, which is one of the worst streets in the district, is going to be under construction. That's going to get a full reconstruction. We have a lot of other streets that are going to get a full reconstruction too. Glenbrook down south by Carroll, that should be completing soon. So very excited about that. And, and then of course we have the ones that everybody complains about, which is Shiloh. Which from Shiloh up to Kingsley has been under construction for a while. They're getting pretty close on that. We don't have an exact timeline on finish, but I do expect it'll be finished hopefully by the end of the year, if not the midpoint of the year. But the other news is that then we'll go from Kingsley to Miller widening Shiloh. So it's going to be a while before we get some relief on that. But it's going to be important projects, and we're looking forward to getting those done. The Garland Avenue turn lanes have been in progress. The ones at Miller are almost done. Those were over 25 years in the making. Hard to believe, but they're finally almost done. That's going to be great. And then, 635 has still got several years to go. There's constant progress, which has been great, but we're looking at another 3 or so years before it's finished. But as we get to that 3-year point, that's going to start we're starting to see some economic development interest. We're seeing we're hearing from developers who are interested in building things in District 5. They know that 635 is coming with full access roads and full exits, and it makes it really exciting. I mean, we're busy all across the city with economic development. We're doing some good things. We have a new economic development director, Ayako Schuster. She is going gangbusters on things, but we're definitely seeing some real interesting District 5, and I hope we will soon have some things to announce about some big projects.
That's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And I know the issue we've all been managing through for almost 2 years now is COVID.
Yeah, it's it's been tough. It's been tough on everybody. It's been a little bit, it's been up and down. We've seen a dip the last few months in COVID, thank God. But the prediction is that come winter, we're going to start to see a rise again, particularly with the holidays. So I certainly ask that people be real careful about that and start to think about that. They're seeing an increase of cases in the northern United States and certainly in Europe. So we're not quite all the way through this. And it's been hard. 92% of COVID deaths in Texas since mid-January, have been people who are unvaccinated. And so what I'd really ask people to do this holiday season is to give yourself and your family the gift of getting vaccinated. If you're unsure or uncertain about it, reach out to people, talk to your doctor, talk to other folks, and go out and get that shot. And I really hope people will. We have them available at Garland Public Health. You could just walk in; those shots are available. And so, I really hope that we'll see more people get vaccinated as the winter comes. And with that, I just hope that everybody has a great holiday, that y'all have a wonderful holiday season, and that you have a great new year.
Well, thank you. And thank you for your time today, and for all of you for listening. We'll see you next time for another City Council update.
Thank you.